Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Listen, my mega brothers and sisters, get ready. We're talking about Trump. Joe Rogan's talking about Trump. They're talking about the infamous exchange him and Megyn Kelly had where he said, only Rosie O'Donnell. So they're going to be playing that, laughing about that, talking about how funny he is, talking about the way debates used to go back in the day, you know, Obama, Mitt Romney times, and I'm even going to touch on times before that. And then I'm going to be playing, you know, because at a certain point, this Sam Morril guy brings up how he doesn't feel safe with Trump as president. The country's in shambles, but Trump's not the president right now, and the country's in shambles, so who are you really blaming for that? It's very odd. But then they go on to talk about how Trump is a narcissist. And listen, this is another video in defense of Trump. I don't think this statement that he says about him being a narcissist, I think it's completely wrong. I think he's looking at it wrong. And I'm going to break it down for you guys after this. I'm going to be playing a bunch of Trump clips of Trump just handling business and saying the truth. But we're going to start with Joe Rogan, of course. Let's get into it.
Back and go, that was a sensible president.
You know what? You even look at those clips of Obama and Mitt Romney debating, and you're like, man, that was like 12 years ago, and it was so civil.
Not just civil, like super friendly. They weren't shitting on each other at all. They're cordial. They were just trying to debate the merits of their approach to the world.
McCain was the same way. When you watch,
that long ago.
I mean, remember that clip where that woman was like, he's a Muslim, and McCain's like, no, he's like trying to like, it's like, that's dead. That moment's over.
It doesn't have to be.
I think it'll come back at some point. I think there's a level, there's a limit to this and it's going to have to swing back to civility at some point.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope so. I hope people realize the damage it's doing to us and that it's not helping anybody. But the problem is social media. The problem is it's like social media and people's ability to constantly berate other people and constantly engage in these squabbles online and try to get people and post bad
sound
things.
Bites. Yeah, dunking on someone's killing. I remember when I forgot her name, but you'll know who she is. There's a Hewlett-Packard woman who was running for president. You know who I'm talking about, right? She was running it was 2016 for the Republican primary, and at the debate, like she basically said that Trump called her ugly, and it was like this big, like, we need a president who doesn't like speak like this. No, Carly Fiorina, that's who it was. And I thought there was like this big moment where I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't talk to women like that. That's pretty f***ed up. And then Trump immediately like got everyone. I was like, once he destroyed Jeb Bush, it was like, yeah, the sound bites are working. So why are you going to stop doing this? Like,
well, that's also his entire career was you're fired.
Yeah,
his entire show business career was you're fired. Like he was like the hard, get out of here. You're a loser. Yeah, you're fat. You're ugly. You're a crook.
It's very New York. It's like kind of like a trashy New York guy where you're like, you fucking nobody. Like that's how, you know.
Well, it's politics is basically show business. And he was a professional showbiz guy.
Yeah.
So he was way better at show business. Because politics is basically a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first guy that was an actual popular person that entered into the popularity contest and actually knew how to manipulate the media. And by saying ridiculous shit all the time, whether or not it was on purpose or not, that's what got all these news organizations to start following him, and that just made him more popular. They thought they were exposing him. Like, look what he said about the Mexicans. But nobody cared. Like, this guy's wild. This is so much better than what we're used to.
It's the problem is other people were just not used to TV, right? So they're just sticking to a script. And when he goes off script, he was more comfortable.
Yeah.
And he saw how it was like a fucking boxing match. They were just like, what the fuck's he doing?
Also, he's like a comic. Like when, who was it that asked him the question? Who was it? Megyn Kelly? Was it Megyn Kelly that asked him the question? Yeah, it was. At the debates, you said horrible things about women. You've called them fat. You called them pigs. He goes, only Rosie O'Donnell.
It's a punchline. Got a big pop.
It crushes.
Yeah.
It crushes. And you see her just like, oh my God. Like, what did I set him up? I lobbed one his way and he just knocked it into the parking lot.
Over the plate. He just crushed it.
I mean, that's his thing is so different. Yeah,
Call women you don't like fat pigs, dogs.
she thought she had him here.
And disgusting animals. Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
He's smiling. He was proud of that one.
They're all clapping and cheering.
Your Twitter account.
Come on, you got to hold.
Well, what do you expect her to do here?
Thank you.
For the record,
hold the laugh.
Was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Your Twitter account is disparaging.
I mean, Jesus
Yes,
Christ.
I'm sure it was. Yes, I'm sure it was. Is amazing. Well, the guy's a character in a movie.
Yeah.
You know,
It
and I
doesn't
said
seem
yesterday, I hope it's not a Stephen King movie. But, you know, remember the Stephen King movie about the guy who, like, he shakes hands with the guy that's going
Dead
to be
Zone?
president? Yeah.
Yeah, Martin Sheen,
Yes.
wasn't that?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Chris Walken?
Yes. Great
Yeah,
movie.
that ending, that fucking oof.
Oof. Yeah.
Stephen
yeah,
King's
yeah.
made some good
Oh,
shit.
my God. Get him back on Coke. Get him back on Coke. Give him Budweiser.
And a wide range of shit. Like, you're telling me this guy did that, Shawshank, and Misery?
Yeah. Stand By Me.
Stand By Me is great.
I just watched it the other day with
Me
my
too.
family. It was
Dude,
amazing.
That last line f***ed me. It always f***ed me up when he's like, none of us had friends like when we were 12. I'm like,
Yeah.
F*** you, Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, this is the thing. He holds his hand and he realizes.
Yeah, they did a
He's
great
gonna be
SNL
pushing the
parody of
button.
this. Yeah, this guy's going to be Hitler.
He's going to be the one who kills us all.
Yeah.
Pressing the button.
Yeah, that's a good movie, man. That was
Yeah.
scary as f***.
Well, that's what they're always trying to scare us about with Trump, that he's going to do that and start World War III and kill us all. But the problem is, this administration looks like they're on the verge of starting us into World War III. And when Trump was in office, that didn't happen. And here's the thing that they need to address. Everybody keeps saying he's going to be a dictator. He's going to do that. That would be more sellable if we didn't have 4 years of him actually being the president and doing none of those things.
Right. I mean, the thing is, hindsight's everything, right? Like, you look back, like, people said the same thing about, like, everyone hated Eisenhower, but then you look back and you're like, these weren't bad times, you know?
Yeah.
So with Trump, look, we all want to avoid World War III. I think, I would hope.
At all costs.
Part of me is like, maybe Trump is such a fucking narcissist that he doesn't want the world to end.
Yeah, because he wants to do well while he's in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe, I don't know.
For whatever motivation, whatever it takes you to keep us from killing each other.
He does terrify me. I don't fucking feel like safe with him as a president.
Do you feel safe with Biden as a
No,
president, though?
of course not. The
I don't-
country's in shambles. Things are fucking bad.
I don't feel safe with anybody as president. But I don't buy their narrative. When you find out that, like, they lied about Russiagate for 6 years and, like, all
Well,
shit.
that was the beginning of the end. That was like when that's your whole thing, like the Steele dossier is your whole thing.
Yeah.
That was really the undoing of a lot of cable news, I think.
They thought they could get away with it because they have gotten away with it before, which makes you think, how many of the stories, other than the ones we know about, like the weapons of mass destruction and how many of the stories were
That's right. How many? I do wonder that. As I start seeing events in history, especially after Tucker Carlson broke down what really happened with Nixon and who was involved and how Watergate, all of a sudden it was like this guy and his first story that he gets to break is Watergate and he's involved with naval intelligence and this. It was so crazy to hear that. Right away, I'm like, wow, that's the type of story that they're going to have about Trump. And how many other stories have this other side to them that we're never privy to because the people who know are still deep in the media. You know, luckily for us, Tucker Carlson is out. So the things that he knows in regards to stuff like that, he actually divulges. But how, like what does Wolf Blitzer know? You know what I mean? Like, Wolf Blitzer probably knows some stuff. Wolf Blitzer probably knows who shot JFK. He probably, like, knows the guy. He's like, yeah, of course. Everybody knows that. But all of his colleagues have passed away. You know what I mean? He has new colleagues, but just saying. But you see what I mean at the end there? How he's talking about, you know, not feeling safe with Trump as president. And listen, everybody has their own thing. I can't be that mad at him. But how do you not feel safe around a president or, you know, under a president that has you in no wars and has the economy getting better and better? And the only thing that's happening is that people, the media, are talking about his mean tweets and the things that he says to this person and that person. It's so weird. How do you go through a presidency, live through it, and you see that he's trying to broker some deal in the Middle East for peace? You see that he's meeting with North Korea and trying to have good relations there. You see that he's getting along with Putin. You see that he's doing all this stuff, and you're like, I don't feel safe. That has to be the work of the media. Because no person, like, I wonder if people who are really Trump deranged even know about all that stuff that I just said, even know that he did any of that. Because if you just listen to the media, he's just a Putin puppet and he's terrible and this and that. Like, I don't know. It's so wild. But we'll talk about that in a second. I just want to break down a little bit here. Megyn Kelly, she actually talks about that moment. And they're right. They're right with in regards to how they thought she was feeling. She breaks down that moment because that was an iconic moment. And if you watch closely, even she's laughing a little bit. Listen to this.
Together for the first time in years. And it was, frankly, great to see him. all that nonsense between us is under the bridge, and he could not have been more magnanimous. It's just, the thing about Trump is he commands the room. He walks in, and it's not just because he's a former president now, because I knew him before that. There's just something about him. It's like an aura that sort of takes over the room. There's only one person you can look at. When Trump took to the stage, he said the following, which caught my attention.
And Megyn Kelly, she was the one that gave me that terrible question where I said only Rosie O'Donnell. Thank God I came up with that. That was a hell of a question. But she has been all, and she's been great. And by the way, not to me. She's been great for the country. She wants our country to survive. So it's not for me.
His point is well taken. He did do well with that question, and the Rosie O'Donnell comment brought down the House.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account
Only
has
Rosie
several...
O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
Thank you.
Even Megyn Kelly was like, "Oh my gosh."
Your Twitter account...
She's like, "Yeah, okay, that was kind of funny. Look at her." Oh, it's so amazing. But when they get into the whole narcissist thing, here's my defense of Trump when it comes to that, okay? He's not, and let me just say this really quick. When you're someone who leans to the left, like this Sam person does, because he obviously does, it's very, very clear. I've watched this episode I'm going on my second listen here as I go through these clips and everything, so he's clearly left-leaning. I mean, he was on MSNBC with Joe Scarborough, things like that, so for him to even get those breaks, yeah, it's a manager thing and everything, but the fact that you want to do that and sit with those people, it's half trying to sell tickets, but also, yeah, you're with Joe Scarborough. I don't know. But this is the thing that they do, where we will be on the right, will be like, Trump is intelligent, he is charismatic. They will say he's a narcissist, right? And they know they can't give him the compliment of being charismatic. So instead they go with narcissist. And they can't give him the compliment of he did well in his presidency. So they go to what this guy said. He's such a narcissist that he wants to see the country do well. Maybe he's such a narcissist that he wants to see the country do well, because then he gets the credit for it. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. They can't compliment Trump whatsoever. But here's the thing. I don't think he's a narcissist. What I think he is, and I think everybody could agree, Trump's a businessman. He's a business person. So what happened when he walked in and started seeing everything? Picture the United States of America like a factory. And he was walking in and he's like, "What's in this room?" It's like, "Oh, it's all the stuff with China. Oh, it's all the stuff with China. What's in here? Oh, what is this? What happens here? Oh, well, we give them billions of dollars and, they make a bunch of money off of us with things that they sell to us. And, they're a developing country." He's like, "Hold on a second. Wait a second. They're not a developing country." He's like, "How much money do they make?" They're like, "Oh, they make this many billions of dollars every year." He's like, "Hold on a second. What's going on here? And you're telling me we owe them money. Hold on. They're making money off us. We owe them money. Well, hold on. And he's like, "Let me straighten this out." He's like, "What's through this door?" "Oh, Middle East. There's this huge war. We got to give billions to both sides all the time. We got to send aid to Palestine. We're giving aid to Israel." He's like, "Hold on. Well, what if we just stop? Well, what if we get peace in here?" "I don't know. There's never been peace." He's like, "Hold on. Let me just draw this up. How much money do we save if we get peace?" They're like, "Oh, well, this is 4 years. We'll save $1 trillion. Well, okay. That's all he's doing. He's going from room to room being like, "What's going on? What is this European Union thing? What? Well, hold on. The whole union? We pay more than the whole union? What's going on? They cost us $150 billion? What? How long's this been going on?" "Oh, this has been going on for years, Mr. President." He's like, "Okay, hold on. I wish I could do a Trump impression. I'm telling you, I would be doing it right now if I could." But that's what I think he's doing. When he's handling it like a business, and he's looking around and he's like, "Okay, the bottom line is America doesn't get screwed. I'm going from room to room and I'm seeing America getting screwed." He's like, "What's through this door?" "Oh, this is Mexico." Well, what do? Well, they send us a bunch of people. They let a bunch of people walk through their country into our country illegally, and then we take them in. He's like, hold on a second. How about they stay in Mexico? How about that? Until we figure out who's who and what's what. Oh, well, that's not fair to Mexico. And, no one's really illegal, sir. And he's like, get out of here with that. They stay in Mexico. Draft something up. I'll sign it. They're staying in Mexico. This is crazy. Let's build a wall. Let's do this. And the whole time he's doing all this stuff, making sure America doesn't get screwed, the media is concocting stories about him being racist and xenophobic. It's crazy. And all the people who hate Trump, they hate him like as if, like, when you have a dad, your parents, and you hate your parents because they're like, oh my God, I gotta come home at a certain time. Oh my God, I gotta come home at a certain time. I gotta be in my bed, my warm bed that I have no idea how much it costs, inside this room with all this free food. Oh my God, I hate this place. That's exactly what America acted like throughout his whole presidency. Oh, I hate you, Dad. I hate this. This is so bad. Oh, I wish we were communists. Don't say that, son. I do. I wish we were communists. I wish I wish Lenin was my dad. That's exactly how that's how the left has been acting. A lot of the country's been acting the whole time. You're racist, Dad. Why don't you let my Mexican friends just stay here for free? What are you talking about? You can't do that. What do you want to stay in your room? We don't even know who they are. Dad, they're human beings. Just let them in. No. I hate you, Dad. That's exactly what we should. I swear I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit the road and I'm going to do that. I'm going to play some clips here though. This is just Trump just talking business. I need to find more of these clips.
What's your biggest?
Because we don't really showcase Trump talking about certain things enough. Things that were benefiting the country enough. Let's get into this.
Competitor, your biggest foe globally right now?
Well, I think we have a lot of foes. I think the European Union is a foe, what they do to us in trade. Now, you wouldn't think of the European Union, but they're a foe. Russia's a foe in certain respects. China's a foe economically, certainly. They're a foe. But that doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean anything. It means that they're competitors. They want to do well, and we want to do well. And we're starting to do well. You see what's going on. We have the best employment numbers probably that we've ever had. Black unemployment is the lowest level in history. Hispanic unemployment, the lowest level in history, Jeff. Women unemployment, lowest in 66 years. Our numbers are great. Our GDP numbers are far greater than what they thought.
Who's your biggest competitor, your biggest foe globally
And look,
right
look, you see what I mean? As he's talking about all that, look at the top comment. Traitor. You're a traitor. I hate you. you know, we're helping black people, we're helping women, we're helping Hispanic people, and we just, other countries want to do well and we want to do well. You're a traitor. You're a traitor to the country. Like, jeez. Gets no credit. And again, I said this in another video, the video that I just posted. Or I don't even know what order I'm going to post things in, but I was saying in another video how the media does not reflect what the people are thinking or what the people want. The media molds our reality. They don't look at our reality and be like, these are the pressing issues. They mold our reality and try to tell us what the pressing issues are. And if they don't like someone, if someone's been branded unacceptable, like Trump obviously has, then they mold him into something else. And that's why every single time you hear Rachel Maddow after his speech at the RNC, oh, this reminds me of Fidel Castro. It's like, what are you talking about? You hear people comparing him to Hitler. I think it's called the New Republic. They just made a magazine cover where they like AI mashed Trump's face and Hitler's face. That's what they do. They mold our reality. They mold the way we see people. They tried to do it with Joe Rogan. They've been doing it with Trump. They do it with anybody who goes against the agendas that they have set forth, the narratives that they're trying to put out there. They tried to do it with Elon Musk. And it's just, it's wearing pretty thin, in my opinion. Here, I'm just going to play another clip. I'm having mega fun today, folks. We're playing some Trump clips. Let's go.
Very low number. In Europe, I don't care about Europe. I'm not elected by Europeans. I'm elected by Americans. and by American taxpayers, frankly. So, I think my relationship, I will tell you, with the leaders of Europe is very good. A lot of them don't even understand how they got away with it for so many years. I'll say to Angela, and I'll say to many of the other leaders, I'm friends with all of them, very low number. In Europe, I don't care about Europe. I'm not elected by Europeans. I'm elected by Americans.
Amazing. Amazing. When's the last time you heard something like that? When's the last time you heard somebody be like, well, I'm not elected by Mexico? Come on. Here's just a recording, but this is him actually talking about the European Union.
The biggest problem there, right?
Okay, get her out tomorrow. I don't care. Get her out tomorrow. Take her out. Okay?
Excellent.
Do it.
Excellent. Yep.
The European Union is a group of countries that got together to screw the United States.
That's about right.
It's as simple as that. And frankly, they're probably worse than China in a sense, just smaller. They're worse than China in the sense of barriers. We lose 151 billion with them.
Maybe not so much as coffee and milk, because
No.
China does that.
No, but the European Union is really big. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
The European Union, we're all sort of from there, right?
Yeah.
But it's the European Union's brutal. But we're changing that rapidly too. We have, they can't even believe it. So we're having fun. That's what we're doing.
Well,
I think resolve is finally
Right.
they see resolve, and that's
Well, but
all
you-
about.
When's the last time? When was the first time and the last time you heard a president talk about the European Union like that? Just unafraid. Just on America's behalf, talk about the European Union like that. I never have. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. If Biden did it, let me know. If Obama did it, let me know. I've never heard anybody talk about it like that. Yeah, and I'm gonna. This is one of the last ones. Then we're gonna play Mark Zuckerberg. We're gonna play Mark Zuckerberg jumping on the MAGA train. Don't know if you heard. Even Mark Zuckerberg caught the bug. Listen to this last one.
The question of our time is whether the West has the will to survive. Do we have the confidence in our values to defend them at any cost? Do we have enough respect for our citizens to protect our borders? Do we have the desire and the courage to preserve our civilization in the face of those who would subvert and destroy it? We can have the largest economies and the most lethal weapons anywhere on earth. But if we do not have strong families and strong values, then we will be weak and we will not survive.
When's the last time you heard someone talk about that speech? Huh? I bet some of you, first time you're ever even hearing that. When's the last time you heard somebody talk about that speech? That was from the first year, from the time he was the most racist and the most xenophobic and the most a traitor to the country. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me end it off with this. Mark Zuckerberg talking about Trump. Undeniable. Let's go.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over the last, over the weekend. And, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
Let's go. Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg even sees it. Man, but yeah, that's just my defense of Trump. I don't think that he's a narcissist. I think more than anything, he's a businessman. Listen, I've been running my own businesses, trying, failing more than trying most of the time. But I've been doing that for about 15 years? No, longer. Oh, bro, gee, close to 20, on and off, cleaning business, this business, that business, and I've learned a thing or two. Imagine what this guy has learned in 50 years, 60 years that he's been doing this. You know, I haven't made $1 billion, but we have no idea the amount of knowledge you learn making $1 billion. It's not just about the money. It's what you learn on the way to making the money. And then losing it all, how much you learn in that, and then making it back, how much you learn in that. Obviously, this guy's going to look at the United States of America like a business. He's going to look and see, where are we making money? Where are we losing money? Where are we getting screwed? We have business partners, these other nations. Are they doing good by us? Because if they're doing good by us, that means they're doing good by the people. If they're not doing good by us, then they're not doing good by the people. And those are the people that I answer to. And that's the benefit of having a president who has a more populist approach to what he does. You know, I've said this in my last Defense of Trump video. If you notice, I said this before, his superpower is his disrespect. The fact that he is willing to disrespect the Democrats and the left. The fact that he's willing to disrespect people in his own party if he feels like they've gotten out of line. The fact that he will always disrespect politicians, but anytime you see him in front of people, he is always respectful. That's why I say it's his superpower, because he knows where to direct it. He's not disrespectful to the people. He's always respectful to the people because he knows who puts him in what position. And then he gets disrespectful to the deep state, to the Democrats, to the Republicans, to the agencies, to the defense contractors. He knows where to put the disrespect. That is his superpower. Remember that I said that. As you see him operate and as you look back on how he's operated, his disrespect of the status quo is what was working for us. The fact that he wasn't willing to go along with wars, is start more wars, that's disrespectful, not to you and I, but to someone who benefits from those things happening. They see that as a disrespect. You're taking billions of dollars out of my pocket when you say that you don't want any new wars. His disrespect is his superpower. Remember that I said that. I was the first person to say it. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.